past 3 Indy Lights races have provided 3 different winners in 3 races. Now they return to the street course in Detroit for round 6. As points leader David Empringham looks to defend that lead in an all-out street fight. With a Canadian flag behind us in Windsor, Ontario, we are across the Detroit River here in Belle Isle, Michigan. Hi everybody, I'm Bill Adam, and welcoming you with TSN's coverage of round 6 of the Players Indy Lights series at one of the toughest tracks of all. And why is it tough? Well, this may be the most difficult track of all to pass at. It puts a tremendous premium on qualifying well, and herein lies the story with our 2 players' teammates, David Empringham and Claude Bourbonnais. Neither driver had ever been to this circuit before, neither had ever raced here, and that makes a whole new challenge for these drivers. But they responded well. David Empringham grabbed the pole position with a late gasp effort, and Claude Bourbonnais an excellent 4th on the grid. So players takes up rows 1 and 2, and they had some interesting thoughts about this circuit.
Actually, both my quick laps on both sets of tires, I made some mistakes, and I wasn't sure if the other guys were going to be able to get me, but I heard that I was second, and we put new tires on, and I just went for it, and the whole players team did a great job. The car was really good. I just made a couple mistakes, but we got the pole.
We've been improving. The players team is doing a great job. We gave it all in this qualifying. We were missing a little bit, but I think we've stepped forward, and I think we're pretty much ready for the race now.
And for today's grid, let's go up to Chris McClure.
We have 22 cars ready to take the grid and the green flag. David Empringham on pole for the 3rd time with Galter Salas on the outside. Jackie Schechter making his series debut is in the 2nd row, and then Claude Bourbonnais, Empringham's teammate. Tony Kanaan in row number 3 anchors it down with Alex Padilla, the veteran, on the outside. Mark Hotchkiss, who won Milwaukee, the last race in the series, and Jeff Ward, 3 top 5s this year, that's row 4. David De Silva, a winner at Nazareth earlier this year, is in row 5, along with Jose Luis de Palma. Row 6, Hideki Noda is a rookie, and Helio Castro Neves, also a rookie. Row number 7, number 20, Doug Boyer, still trying to come back full strength from an injury earlier this year, and Shigeaki Hattori on the outside of the row. Row 8, Philippe Giaffoni, the rookie, and Nick Firestone, who is a veteran. Row number 9, Chris Simmons and Robbie Unser. Those are both first-year drivers in the series as well. At the back, Greg Ray, the rookie, further back than he'd hoped to be, and Sourav Amir Sadari, who has visited the series over the last several years somewhat frequently. Rodolfo Levine Jr. anchors row 11, then Dr. Jack Miller on the outside of the back row. 22 set to take the green flag. David Empringham in control of the championship, more than a race worth of points ahead of Mark Hotchkiss, but last time out he did lose ground. Galter Salas closing ground as well, as you see the second half of the top 10 plus ties with 11 Shigeaki Hattori and Robbie Unser. On board we go with number 24 David De Silva. It says Big Doug now on the side of his helmet. Tragically, just over a week ago, his brother was killed by a heart attack. He didn't hear about that until after the Milwaukee race, but he has dedicated this season to his brother. And all of this at ESPN send our condolences to their family. Alex Padilla, the other in-car camera on board this week as they work through this is turn number 12. We'll get a lot of action here. There's one of those transitions you talked about, Jan, because the cement to the asphalt, and that is very, very difficult to control. And last year here in Detroit, we remember most clearly what happened on the start.
Yes, a couple cars got together. Remember, with open-wheeled cars, you never want to interlock wheels, and last year we had a car upside down into the fence. He was in about mid-pack. This year, of course, they know what happened last year. And look at Galter Salas there. He is in the yellow and blue car. He is not pulled into position yet. That is because he wants, well, he's nowhere near position. I'll be surprised if they get a green. Wow.
Do get the green flag. A strange lineup as Galter Salas was not in his appointed row, and that really messed up the guys in row 2 and gave David Empringham a good jump into the first turn. He leads it, and we're cleanly through the first 2 corners in this race. There's a look at Claude Bourbonnais running in the 4th position. I don't know what Galter Salas had in mind there. Perhaps he was trying to set up to the inside line and won an early pass, but that doesn't work very often.
Well, the only thing I can think of is he said he was going to run the outside line to see if there was any grip. He must have decided that there wasn't any grip on the outside and decided to go ahead and give up a run for the front in the very first corner and just settle into second place. I thought at first he was just trying to keep the tires clean. But look at that, number 37, Tony Kanaan, he's charging already.
Well, he picked up some space, came out of row number 3. He runs 3rd in the event, so he jumped forward right quick off the start. Jackie Schechter was the man right in front of him, the rookie, and he probably was a little tentative at the start. You could understand that, and Kanaan got through and right in behind Salas. So it is Empringham, Salas, and Tony Kanaan down the straightaway, then Claude Bourbonnais, and the number 17 car, that is Jackie Schechter in his first race.
Jackie Schechter was extremely impressive in qualifying. Like you said, this is his first actual start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all in contest there. Bourbonnais at the moment getting a challenge from Schechter, and here the red car of Tony Kanaan trying to move on Galter Salas.
In terms of a battle, first place is not at issue at the moment. Empringham has a couple of car lengths. I think the real battle is right here. Kanaan against Salas for second, at least for the moment. And off the turn, we saw Bourbonnais and Schechter with a big wiggle at the front of the car.
These guys will use every inch of the road, and you saw them slither through there. It takes a little while to get tire temperature. There's not a lot of rubber on this racetrack. We talked about the fact it is run after the IndyCar race, but the first half of the IndyCar race was in the wet. So the track is still what we call a little bit green.
A little bit green on the edges for certain. In fact, you can see the difference there where it's a little grayer to the outside. There's still some moisture there. If you're going to try and find a braking area to outbrake somebody into a corner, you better pick it carefully.
And here is a place where you do get on the brakes. Dave De Silva doing it nicely.
David Empringham leads, then Salas and Kanaan. We're at Detroit. We'll be back.
Canon. Now you can. Everyone on the network wants the power to do everything. Print a page, print 100, collate them, file them, find them, fax them, copy them, right from their desks. The answer? It's simple. Canon has the system that is the solution. The GP Series Digital Imaging System. Canon. Now you can.
Gatorade Sport bottle. It's tall and skinny. Like me. Fits on a bike. Like me. Great for lots of sports. Just like me. Single serve. I'm single. Got this really weird top. Enough said. 5 flavors. 5. And you can take it anywhere. Like me. Maybe not. Hey, life is a sport. Drink it up.
Well, definitely the main focus for this year is to win the Indy Lights Championship, and it's not going to be easy, but I'm approaching it similar to how I have in the past years. I know all the tracks, or most of the tracks. I think there's only 2 that I haven't been on. So it's a matter of being smart. I know to win a championship, I need to finish every race, and that means being patient in some races. Try not to let your adrenaline take over or your ego take over. We want to win as many as we can, but we want to make sure we finish so we can finish on top at the end of the year. Usually I like to have a little bit of time to myself just before the event, maybe half an hour. Once I get in the car, actually once we get rolling, all the jitters go away and it's race time, and that's where I'm the most comfortable.
Welcome back to Belle Isle, Michigan. It's Firestone Indy Lights Racing. There are the front three in the early going of this 6th event of 1996 with David Empringham, Galter Salas, and Tony Kanaan, 1, 2, 3. And the 37 car, the red-clad machine of Kanaan, right behind Salas. He's been looking for a way around. Salas hasn't really drawn a bead on Empringham just yet.
Well, it looks as though maybe he's starting to do that now, Chris, though. It looks as though Empringham is watching his mirrors, he's listening to the radio, and he's keeping his car just as far in front of Salas as he needs. However, Tony Kanaan in the red car, as you mentioned, really looks as though the guy that has got it cranked up at the moment. We talked about this being a physical race. People regard Kanaan as one of the most physical guys out here as far as fitness.
Well, all the transitions in terms of pavement type create some bumps, and also there are manholes. These are city streets on this park out here adjacent to Detroit. They really get their heads knocked around inside the cockpit, and it's tough on the arms as well, holding the front of the car.
David Empringham said that the reason he was so fatigued, and of course he's our leader at the moment, he said it's because you hold the steering wheel tighter because of the bumps. He says you don't really have to. It's a psychological thing that when it's so bumpy, you really grip the wheel very hard, and of course that pumps up your arms like they do in motocross a lot of times. They have to be careful. Look, Kanaan's going to the inside.
He's going to the inside, and one, is it there? Is he going to force it? They go side by side. Seldom do cars do that, but he cannot get it accomplished. Boy, he's coming right back at him, too. Turn number 3 is a right-hander. He'll have to go way into the grass to get underneath there. Bold move in turn 1. Few would try that, I would think, Jan Binkas, unless there was a desperate moment. We're too early to be desperate.
Well, the thing that I really have to give credit to is Galter Salas in the yellow and blue car. He saw Kanaan coming, and he gave him room. He could have just gone to the apex, but he was a gentleman about it, and he gave Kanaan nice respect. And I'll have to say, that could have been a dicey situation, but I'm very impressed with what Salas did there as far as protecting his car.
You see Kanaan dancing around on the bumps, under braking, and a little wheel slide as they get into what we call the casino complex. It's a right double apex, left-hander, straighten it out, roll out, go left again right here, and then straighten it out, roll out of the turn just a little bit, and then hook into a hard right-hander. That's a difficult complex through there.
Yeah, but check this out. Galter Salas is saying, hey, I don't think I want Kanaan coming after me to do that again. I'm going to go after the lead. Wow, he is right on the back end of Empringham.
Let's see how they get the power down. This is the head of the straightaway. The straightaway has a little kink in it, but it's high speed, and at the end of it, you can pass if you're set perfectly. Will anybody make a move? Kanaan did here last time. This time he does not. They settle in against the Armco and simply go single file. And now back to the twisty bits. Turns 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 all together. Just constant turning back here.
Now watch for Empringham to be somewhat conservative, but also, he went to the inside. Kanaan did, but there's no room there. What David Empringham said when I talked to him yesterday, he says, I think that I can go out and walk this race, meaning he can go and walk away with it. But he said, you know what? If I can't, I'm going to block.
Well, the blocking part can be pre-planned, but I think the other part's a somewhat tenuous frame of mind. You have to go in, I would think, believing that you can be attacked and prepare mentally that way.
But check this out. He obviously does not have the fastest car on the racetrack because now the whole group behind him has closed up. So we have the opportunity now to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars, I believe, have a shot at the lead.
4.4 seconds, first to sixth right now. Last time over the stripe. They're a half lap since then, and I think it's closed down even further. And in that serial, showing very well after, I guess, a somewhat tenuous start, is Jackie Schechter running in the 5th spot, and he's in the picture.
Well, you know, we have a report from the pits that there might be a problem with David Empringham. Yesterday, he complained to his crew that the clutch was slipping a little bit. Now he's saying there, he's blocking, he's trying to keep Salas behind, but we feel that he may have a clutch problem. His crew has told him, Jack Miller into the tires, but Empringham at the moment, his crew has said, try not to use the clutch and try and save the car.
So over around the carousel, Jack Miller goes into the tires, backed up by himself, and I think he's going to get it underway. Tire smoke from Kanaan as he's right up behind Salas. They're at the bell tower. You can see that in the background. And Empringham goes onto the bridge. Bumpy here with the cement. Watch the exit. This is turn 7. It's a right-hander. Watch the exit here as they bounce around. Swing wide and a big bump right there that can really upset the car if you don't just graze it.
And you know, Chris, on the bumps, one of the most difficult things is to match your downshifts. Now, what they've just told David Empringham is to baby the clutch. In other words, you do not have to use the clutch in one of these cars to upshift and downshift. Yesterday, David told me, oh, Hotchkiss is in trouble. Hotchkiss has hit the wall. That right rear tire, I think he has suspension damage. He'll be lucky to get that back to the pits. If I can just finish on Empringham, he's not using the clutch now, but that may break his rhythm in these areas because he likes to use the clutch generally on the downshifts.
So back toward the front straightaway they go as David Empringham continues to hold them off, and we have battles for position all over the racetrack. Hotchkiss has continued, and we don't know that he's going to have to go to the pits, and Dr. Jack Miller also has continued as he went into the tires and moved out.
Oh,
Salas wide. He touched the wall. He's still loose. Kanaan moves through. Schechter and Bourbonnais got by, and Galter Salas got offline. Kanaan was attacking him hard in turn 2. He went to the outside and did nick the wall, and whether he can back it up and continue is perhaps a moot point now. He's not going to win the race.
Well, I'll tell you what happened. That actually happened 2 corners previous. He tried to make a move on David Empringham going into the first corner. Empringham chopped him off. That got Salas offline. Then he started getting a challenge from Kanaan. Got a little bit wide on it. Now here, this is how it happened. Look, he went for the lead. He got a wheel in there, but Empringham slammed the door. Oh, no, Empringham did give him some room. But look, now Kanaan tries to take advantage. Salas is fighting for everything he's worth to try and hold on to the position. And there he is. He rubs the wall. Claude Bourbonnais goes right on by, and so does Jackie Schechter.
But Claude Bourbonnais nearly caught up in that. Schechter not so greatly in jeopardy, but now the top 5 changes with Empringham, Salas, Kanaan, Bourbonnais, Schechter, and Padilla would move into the top 5 after that incident with Galter Salas. We're racing, Indy Lights racing at Belle Isle in Detroit.
Hey, Bubba, Dick, back together doing a brew commercial.
How do you?
Well, listen up, guys. This brew's special.
We know brew.
Handcrafted from quality ingredients. Filtered water, brewed in small batches. Okay, action.
What kind of brew is this?
It's iced tea.
Lipton's Brew Iced Tea. Us Hall of Famers love it.
And Bob, too.
Lipton's Brew Iced Tea. Brewed true.
Carbon monoxide isn't the only thing coming from your tailpipe, because with every stroke of your engine, motor oil is being vaporized into exhaust, leaving less and less protection. That's why there's Castro GTX 10W30. Of every leading 10W30, Castro provides the most protection against volatility burn-off. So use Castro, or watch more protection go up in smoke. Castro GTX, engineered for greater protection against breakdown.
Castrol GTX. Ask for it by name at your favorite outlet.
Back at Detroit, David Empringham slowing. He had given up the lead. Now he's having difficulty just keeping the car going.
Wow, we thought that maybe if he did not use the clutch that he'd be able to finish this race. But right now, our points leader does not look as though he will get any points today. Tony Kanaan has taken the lead, and this has opened up the championship. You saw just through the frame there. Mark Hotchkiss, I think, well, no, his car was damaged. That was another blue car. But Empringham making his way back to the pit lane.
Well, he's got about a quarter mile, and he'll be safely off the racetrack. But that seems to be a situation that would be unrepairable in terms of the event to get back out and maybe steal a point back. David Empringham, a huge disappointment. And there is the race leader, Tony Kanaan from Sao Paulo, the Tasman Motorsports car. He's just 21 years old, looking for his first Indy Lights victory. He's appeared on a couple of occasions like he was sort of on the brink, but it wasn't there. Now he's got it for the taking, and Empringham's teammate, Claude Bourbonnais, running in second right behind him. He's going to have to win it with some pressure from the back.
And of course, Claude Bourbonnais wants to bring the players' team home with the win. These guys, oh, there's that looks like Simmons. Yep,
Chris Simmons
got off.
So he spun it, pointed it the wrong way, but got it underway once again. Chris Simmons in the number 26 car. That comes from the Barry Green team. There he is. Tony Kanaan. Oh, a little wide there. You don't want to get too far out toward that article. It's a little dusty. Outside that white line, there's a dirt buildup and a lot of marbles there, and it could kick you that last 6 inches if you're not careful.
That's true, but he is used to using all the road on a very narrow racetrack. Last year at about this time, about a month earlier, he ran Monaco, and boy, that is one of the tightest street circuits you can ever run, and so he feels as though this place is wide open compared to Monaco.
Thinks he's on a golf course. He's on the Strand right now. This is as high a rate of speed as they will get in the event at the end of this, just before they break down for this complex. That's a wild transition from great speed to all these twisty, turny bits where you just really work the wheel.
It is. It really does take its toll physically as well. Now, right through that section is probably one of the bumpiest on the racetrack. And at the moment, he seems to be using that aggression. And Jackie Schechter now coming into the frame in third place. Car down the escape road. It looks like Sohrab Mirsadari has got in trouble, but has all 4 wheels on the car.
So he misses turn number 3. A lot of runoff over there. And David De Silva is in a pretty good fight right now, running in 6th place, trying to hold off Jose Luis De Palma and Castro Neves and a couple of others that are in contact there. De Silva running in the 6th spot has a fight on his hands, but he has come up through the field relatively well from a position on the starting grid way back in turn number 1. Just behind him is De Palma, then Helio Castro Neves, and De Palma looking for a way around as he bobs and weaves into turn number 3. It's hard to find a way around over here in this part of the course.
But Jose Luis De Palma had a great run back there through turn number 3, but wasn't able to capitalize on it. Wow, look at all these cars queuing up at the moment behind Dave De Silva. Now, that's one of the things you don't want to see in the mirrors, because he knows one little slip-up, and all these guys will be by. Now, remember, we said this was a hard track to pass. The 4th in a row there, of course, as Felipe Giafone trying to reel in these guys as well. But as soon as we said it was a hard place to pass, we've actually seen a lot of passing here today. So these guys are finding ways to get it done.
In front of some of the suites here, this is David De Silva. Watch him work the wheel, Jan, because this is that part I was talking about. So many turns.
It really is. Watch across these concrete sections there. You can actually watch the steering wheel and his head. And look at a couple cars slipping and sliding. De Palma there getting loose.
David Empringham did make it back to the pits, and now Guy Hobbs has tracked him down.
David, just before the race, we congratulated Brody on being the winningest mechanic in Indy Lights history, and we interviewed you, but too brief to be back here in pit lane.
Well, right at the beginning, the clutch was slipping, and we just had no drive, and it was minor at first, and then it turned into a big problem. So obviously very disappointed. The players team is real strong, and we'll be there at Portland.
How did the track feel for as little as you were out there? How did it feel for you?
Oh, the track's great. It's all dry, and it was just disappointing to have no power.
Well, the only good news, if there is any, is some of your closest competitors in the championship have also fallen out of this one too.
I guess that doesn't hurt.
All right, David Empringham.
That's what you call catching a break, but a pointless day in Detroit for him, and now Jackie Schechter has turned it around. A good run was underway, but that's been betrayed, and a lot of them are swinging by. He sits there. I think he's got power, but he's just waiting for traffic to clear.
Well, let's first of all take a look what happened. Whoa, he gets on the power a little too hard. Sohrab Mirsadari there just squeaking through. Of course, he doesn't want to have any more problems. He just went down an escape road, and sure enough, Jackie Schechter does have power. We're looking, don't see any damage on the car, but that's a big disappointment for him because he was so strong here.
And Tony Kanaan continues to lead at Detroit in search of his first Indy Lights win.
Let's go, service guy, let's go. Hey, hey, let's go, service guy, let's go. What's up? What's going on?
Should take me about an hour tops.
We've got tickets to the game.
Yeah.
We've planned this for a month.
Yeah.
We're going to miss the first period.
Not necessarily.
Gentlemen? Where'd it go? I don't know.
This is weird.
At your Chrysler Canada dealer, we understand your vehicle. We understand you.
Now you can. Everyone on the network wants the power to do everything. Print a page, print 100, collate them, file them, find them, fax them, copy them, right from their desks. The answer? It's simple. Kanaan has the system that is the solution. The GP Series Digital Imaging System. Kanaan. Now you can.
Sometimes you come to regret the decisions you've made in life, but not when you choose Yokohama Performance Radials. With over 75 years of tire engineering excellence and long-lasting traction, they give you control when you need it most, no matter what the driving conditions, wet or dry. Yokohama Performance Radials. Now you've got control.
It smells like peaches.
It's my great tasting gum. Extra peach. You want some?
Mmm, tastes like peaches too. Complete with peach fuzz.
Try extra peach gum. Long-lasting peach taste that never quits.
Welcome back to Detroit. Alex Padilla running in the second position. Tony Kanaan has pulled well ahead of all these folks. We have an unofficial gap of 9 seconds up to the front between the two. While these fellows have fought it out, Kanaan has driven away from the field with his best drive ever and looking for his first Indy Lights victory. But this battle for second continues, though. Time is running out on Claude Bourbonnais in terms of second place, and De Palma and Schechter in terms of getting to the victory podium. And Kanaan takes his white flag, and look how far back they are. Nothing but empty track. There's Alex. There's Claude. And look at Alex. He spaced it out on that straightaway a little bit.
Yeah, I think Alex is pretty much safe as long as he doesn't make a mistake. But I would say that third place could possibly still be up for grabs.
Through turn number 3, Kanaan a couple of turns ahead of them on this end of the course, about 1.5 miles away from his first victory. We'll track this battle for you, but it looks like the battle has gone down to just the 2 cars, if indeed it is a battle anymore in their minds. They may just sit there. Bourbonnais, he may just wait for a mistake. He'll pounce if it's there, but not take any chances from this point forward, perhaps.
I don't think so. I think he has driven a really smart race, and I think that he is going to just stay there, and he is going to try and pressure Padilla into making a mistake. I don't think, of course, as soon as I say he's not going to make a bonsai move, he'll probably try it. Right now, he'll apply the pressure and see if in these final couple of corners, he's only really got one more spot. Oh, he lost a little bit there. Looks like Padilla may have it. But here, this man, Tony Kanaan, has dusted everybody.
Kanaan through turn 13. These fellows approaching turn 13. There's Padilla through it. There's Kanaan. He's up on the straightaway. He's coming up to the kink. He's there. He sees the flags for the first time as a Firestone Indy Lights driver. Tony Kanaan is the first one to see the checkered flag. Second to Padilla. Look how happy he is with that position. And third place goes to Claude Bourbonnais. And there is Steve Horn. And he is a happy owner. Tony Kanaan, who we think is going to probably emerge as number 1 in that 3-car team, has a victory in Detroit.
I'm very happy. My first win, and I'm very happy. Now we need to work through Portland and the next races.
And don't forget to join us for round number 7, coming from Portland, Oregon, the west coast of the United States. This is Bill Adam thanking you for joining us. For all of us here at TSN, we'll see you soon.